So here we have one of the most delightful and charming things in the whole of our wonderful collection here at Temple Newsam. Inside this mahogany box, we have a tea equipage. The word equipage comes from the French word meaning équipage, which means a kit, essentially. It's everything you will need for a really smart tea party. It consists of 3 canisters, or caddies. The largest one here for sugar, and 2 smaller ones for tea, one which is marked with a G for green tea, and the second one with B for black tea. There is a cream jug of the most wonderful object you've ever seen. And then a moat spoon, which has a bowl which is pierced in order to take the tea leaves off the bowl of tea. Now, we know all about this object, who it was made for, who made it, and what happened to it subsequently. Because on every single piece, there is the coat of arms of the young couple for whom it was made. And these are the arms of Jean-Daniel Boissier and his wife Suzanne Bercher. And if they sound as though they're French, they are, but they're second-generation French Huguenots. These were the religious Protestant refugees who came to England in the early 18th century, and many of them made considerable fortune in England. Underneath, and on every object, we have the marks of the greatest English goldsmith of the 18th century, Paul de Lamery, P.L. And the other marks are the lion passant, which represents the sterling silver standard, and below the leopard's head, which shows that it was made and assayed in London, and then below the year mark, a V, for the year 1735. And this is actually a wonderful date in the history of English style and design, and this is the Rococo style. And what we find here is that instead of Lamery making a plain rectangular box, we find that he's cut away the edges so that they are softened. The top is absolutely covered in chaste, naturalistic ornament of flowers and leaves and seashells, all taken from nature. And it's absolutely appropriate that we have the rest of the kit as well here, but this time in porcelain. A wonderful tea and coffee service for 6 people, with all the equipment you need: a teapot, a sugar bowl, a cream jug, and then coffee cups, which of course have proper handles to them. We also have a slop bowl for the empties, and even a bread and butter dish. And as you can see, this is in this wonderful white ground with these panels of imaginary landscapes, creating a really wonderful, wonderful effect. For coffee, you might actually also have a silver coffee pot too. And I'm showing you here another wonderful one which we have at Temple Newsam, fantastically sort of Bombay and in movement, and very much in the Chinese style. If you couldn't afford wonderful Chelsea porcelain, you might actually have pottery for your tea. All over England, but particularly in Yorkshire, creamware started to be made. And I'm just showing you here a charming example of a decorated creamware teapot from about 1780. It has a little convolvulus flower for the finial, and there's sort of rope work for the handle here. And of course, creamware was made in Leeds in enormous quantities, a very, very successful industry from 1771 until 1881. And we have a wonderful collection of these commemorative objects, mainly jugs, which tell us something about these people who ordered these objects in the late 18th century. Underneath, in fact, you can see the stamp of Leeds pottery. Of course, as a museum, we like to show wonderful examples of English decorative art of the middle of the 18th century. And so these pieces we've been looking at here really are perfect examples to show design and style and technology of this period.